Hello, and welcome to the IT's Her Future Women in Technology podcast. If you wish to reach out to us, please do so through our email, itsherfuture@kpmg.co.uk. I'm your host, Neve, and this episode we'll be discussing the topic of menopause in the workplace. World Menopause Day is the 18th of October, so we thought it would be great to have a discussion to raise awareness, since every woman will go through it in her lifetime, so that we can all better enable ourselves to support our colleagues who are going through menopause. I'd like to welcome our guest today, Sean King. Sean, if you could give the audience a little bit of background about yourself and explain how and why you've become active in the KPMG menopause response.
Hi, and thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I work with the Global Knowledge and Collaboration team, and how I become active with KPMG menopause response stems from an event I helped organize with NO in the late 2018. And I never knew at the time how much of an impact menopause had on women within the workplace and on their daily lives. I remember speaking to my mom about the event, and she told me about her journey. I said to myself, I need to ensure that I am pretty prepared for this upcoming journey. Then in the winter of 2019, due to medical complications, I had a hysterectomy surgery. Even before my surgery, I found there was a lack of readily available information within our internal website. And I decided that we need to have more dialogue about how best we go about ensuring that the relevant information is available to staff. In early 2021, we held another menopause event, and it was very well received by all staff members. Two major outcomes were improved signposts of menopause information on our internal website and an improved policy about menopause.
Thank you for that background. So I think first of all, what would be really helpful is just to explain some of the symptoms of menopause if you can.
Yes, let us try to understand the menopause transition first. This often begins around the age of 45. However, some people are known to start menopause earlier than 45 and even later than 50 years of age. Menopause is a point in time, 12 months after a woman's last menstrual cycle. This transition affects each woman uniquely and in various ways. There are over 30 symptoms of menopause, ranging from hot flushes to poor concentration and memory issues. Most common symptoms include night sweats, difficulty sleeping, low mood or anxiety, problems with memory, and lack of concentration. Menopause symptoms can begin in years before your menstrual cycle even starts to cease and can last many years. Another symptom of menopause is your body feeling somewhat different, and you feel as if something is wrong, but you can't really pinpoint exactly what is wrong. And you may realize you may gain some weight, you may lose some muscle, your skin may become a bit thinner, aches and pains even become more persistent. All of these symptoms are due to changes within your hormonal levels. And it's because of these changes that it's unpredictable how often women will experience symptoms and how severe they will be. 45% of women will find their symptoms very hard to deal with. And research have noted that 1 in 5 people saying they will quit their jobs during menopause because they cannot cope with all of these symptoms that are happening to their bodies at the same time. So it's time to swap mystery and silence and stigma for understanding, knowledge, and power about the symptoms of menopause and how it really affects women, not only in the workplace, but also in their personal lives.
Thank you for going over those symptoms. I didn't quite realise myself how many there were. You do hear a lot about the hot flushes in the media, but I didn't realise that it really did affect so many aspects of your life. So speaking of how it does affect many aspects of your life, how do you believe these symptoms can affect work, and what do you think the workplace can do to help support women through this?
Well, spot on from my last comment. For those experiencing symptoms, it can be difficult and quite stressful for anyone who will experience menopause differently. There is no one-stop shop to fix the effects of menopause. As I mentioned before, menopause is a natural stage of life which affects most women, including persons whose gender is not the same as the sex they were assigned at birth. It's important that employers be aware of all the people who might be going through the menopause and their symptoms and to support them equally. And at KPMG, we are ensuring that we keep to those standards. With menopause, the symptoms will likely affect your work life. Some may experience loss in confidence in their skills and abilities, feeling that they need to take time off from work and hide the reason for it, having increased mental health conditions such as stress, anxiety, and depression, or even worse, leaving their job. The workplace support can create a positive and open environment for all staff. Menopause also impacts the life of others around us, like our partners, a relative, or a colleague. Every day in every conversation, we can speak change to those around us. And this is why we've started to create a series called Death Fan Moments to have a point in time where anyone can come together for 30 minutes to discuss anything regarding menopause. This way, we can help others to build and encourage support to women as they go through this journey.
Thank you very much. So another question I have is, what is perimenopause and how does it differ from menopause and what you've already described?
Very good question. Perimenopause is the transitional time that it takes for a woman to get to menopause. Menopause means your menstrual cycle ceases or it stops completely. But when you have no menstrual cycle for a full 12 months, you've reached menopause. So why does perimenopause happen? So as your ovaries produce less estrogen, your body is starting to prepare itself for the next stage of that journey, or it's transitioning into menopause. So your body will start to adjust to change as your body produces less estrogen. And some of the symptoms experienced at this stage are similar to menopause, such as sleep issues, hot flashes, irregular periods, and mood change. So that's why it's very important to make sure that we can define what is perimenopause and then what is menopause.
Great, thank you. That again is something I didn't know, so I'm finding this episode really beneficial, and I hope our listeners do too. So, speaking about this episode being beneficial, I think we should go over what some common myths about menopause are and how to sort of debunk them. So, are there any in particular you'd like to discuss?
Yes, sooner or later, menopause affects everyone directly or indirectly, but all women will not experience this change the same way. So let's try to demystify some of these myths. Menopause starts at 50. If life could be so predictable, we will definitely know exactly when we will start our menopause. On average, menopause begins around the age of 52. However, you can experience symptoms from your late 30s to even your early 60s. Every woman is different, and there's no way to predict the exact time or year that menopause will start. Next myth, women in menopause can still get pregnant. Remember that menopause starts when you have gone 12 consecutive months without a period. So if you get a period not after having one for 11 months and 29 days, you are in perimenopausal stage. And there is a chance that you might get pregnant. So having the 12 consecutive months is your game changer, where they're asking, where the myth is all about, oh, women get pregnant when they're in their menopause. So as you said earlier, it's very good to know the difference between perimenopause and menopause stage. Next myth, there's no relief for hot flashes. Hot flashes vary from woman to woman, and while hot flashes can linger for some time, there are medical solutions that do offer relief, like ERT. And we would advise you speak to your GP first about all of your symptoms so that your GP will be able then to recommend to you the relevant hormonal resources that you can use. Next myth, if you have surgical menopause, you won't have any menopause symptoms. So there's a myth around if you have total hysterectomy or a partial hysterectomy, it means that you don't get all of the menopause symptoms. Why natural menopause sets in gradually, surgical menopause can come on rapidly because there is a drastic shift in your hormonal balance. And this happened to me. And I was full of all the symptoms. I had so many different symptoms. I could not understand what's going on. And people need to realize that your body is going to be missing that level of estrogen, and that's what controls your hormones. So for the surgical menopause, yes, you actually go smack on into it without having any warning signs. Next myth, menopause bring on the blues or the anxiety. Menopause in and of itself does not cause depression. You may, however, experience mood swings or foggy thinking due to hormonal imbalances. During menopause, which can be addressed also medically, as I mentioned before, it's best that you speak to your doctor to get the relevant help that you would need. Last but not least, being in menopause means I'm old. And I know there's so many women out there who probably feel the same way. Like so many things in life, your attitude can make a huge difference. Menopause simply indicates a time of change within your life and new possibilities for your future. Changes in lifestyle, changes in parenting, and even freedom from menstruation, which are some of the things we want to celebrate. So, yes, some people may think so, but you don't have to be like that. I always think that you're as old as you feel, and if you feel happy and bright and chipper, you don't have to feel your actual age.
I was just going to say you're as old as you feel as well. So I think that's a really great attitude to have. So when you were mentioning the myths, you did just mention ERT. So just for our listeners who might not know, what does that stand for and just a little overview of what it is?
So, estrogen replacement therapy is also known as ERT. Hormone therapy is also known as HT. Now, while not everyone is a perfect candidate for either therapy, many women report significant relief from menopausal symptoms after undergoing hormonal treatments. So, speaking to your doctor is the best advice.
Great. Thank you for clarifying. So why do you think there is still a taboo around the subject of menopause? And do you think it's spoken about enough? I know there's recently been some ad campaigns where they want to sort of break the taboo, but do you think that is enough?
I don't think it is enough. I think we need to speak more about how this affects women. As I mentioned before, it is a natural transition within a woman's life. And I think we need to understand more, we need to pay more attention to how these symptoms affect the professional women as well. You have some women who would walk away from their roles because of how these symptoms are affecting them. And they lose that confidence within themselves that they can actually achieve what they can achieve. I think the more we talk about it, the more support we have available, the better it can become. And if this was around something dealing with male hormones, I think something else would have been done about it a long time ago. And we as women just have to understand that we need to come together even more.
I think that's a great point. I think we do need to support each other in the workplace more as well, and just to be open-minded about other people's struggles as well. So, just to wrap up in a final question, what's a piece of advice you can give about how we can support women from a well-being perspective?
So, over 200 years ago, the term menopause was coined by a French physician, and we still define menopause as a medical condition when it's the result of the natural process within a woman's life. We have the potential to do more to support women with our conversations and technology, where we can support each other by having a conversation, helping each other, even if it's to just have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea with a colleague and just say, how is it going? And to the point about technology, we can signpost more information so that our colleagues will know, yes, we're there to support you. This is the information we've found. Have a look, have a read. If it's something that interests you, reach out to us and we can support you on your journey of having more knowledge about how menopause can affect you. And that then can lead to us within the Women's Network to also provide more events or more lunchtime bite-sized sessions that can help you along that journey that will also be more tailored to specific areas that you want to know more about.
I think that's a great point, especially with knowledge is power. So the more we talk and the more we learn about each other, it does mean that there can be more specific and tailored events in the workplace. And hopefully that is something we can work towards. So I'd like to thank you very much, Sean, for educating us all on menopause and raising awareness on this topic. If you think a career in tech or within KPMG is for you, please go to our website, www.kpmgcareers.co.uk. And if you wish to reach out to IT's Her Future to ask any questions, or if you have any topics you think we should cover, the email is itsherfuture@kpmg.co.uk. Thank you for listening.